Yo, Inca, you want to come out here? Okay, so I have to do a draft analysis, so I'm going to do it in the funniest way possible. Hi, I'm Incog. Um, you know why you're here. We have a new draft league. It is called the Professional Draft League. I'm pretty sure the PDL. I'll flash the logo on screen here. It is a Terra Cap league, and it's very fun. You know, could add like 2 or 3 Terra Caps. You'll see with our team that we do not have that. And you're probably wondering why you're looking at this image right now. Well, let me tell you. Yeah, man, very fun stuff. Listen, I'm gonna talk about each of these mons, and I'll tell you what picture represents what towards the end, you know, of me talking about them. Our first overall pick is a mon that is universally was like Ubers for a while, and now he's OU. In this league, there is no sleep clause. Well, I think there is sleep clause, but I don't think it's as complex as sleep clause is now, as far as I understand, because they didn't ban the move. But yeah, Hypnosis definitely rocks on this thing. You could see a lot of spec sets. You could see even some SD sets if the matchup calls for it. Has some good utility in terms of status moves. Gets taunt. Really dope Pokemon. So this is Darkrai, aka Darkrai. I bet you didn't guess that. Let's keep going. The next Pokemon is our Terra Captain. We have Psychic, Fighting, and Electric. Very nice, very cool Terra types. Basically, this mon is a demon. Also, if you made a Pokemon Terra Captain, it would increase in price. So that was interesting. I definitely forgot about that. So this Pokemon was like out of 20 points as a Terra Captain. And certain mons are like Terra Band and everything. Regardless, Psychic, Fighting, and Electric. It has speed boost, obviously. It's the demon that runs through people back, you know, when it was legal. I remember when it was UUBL just the other day, and now it's Ubers, you know. It's crazy how things change when people actually learn how to think for themselves. Or just play the game, honestly, if we're keeping it in a stack. Now, normally, this is a mon that you normally don't see Terra or allowed to be Terra'd, but you know, PDL said, you know, why not? Because there's a lot of things that are allowed to be Terra'd here. So, you know, we got this one. Great 3 typings. I mean, we need to have Stab. Electric handles a lot of really funny types and gives us only 1 weakness, while Fighting handles the other mons that would be rather difficult, like Steels and such. This is Path of Ra, aka Espathra. Hope you like that. Now, you're probably looking at this image and you're wondering, Avery, what the hell is this? That's Shofu the Beatdown in Shofu. Our next Pokemon is one of these brothers. You can determine who it is in the comments. You know, really nice fighting water type. Gets a really great move that hits 3 times and is always a critical hit. Really good setup sweeper now that it has Swords Dance. Gets a plethora of funny coverage. Usually is choice scarfed on some teams, but you know, with me playing this game, anything's possible. But this mon is really dope. I didn't think it would make it back down to me, as I was the last pick in the draft. So yeah, my first 2 being Darkrai and Espathra was insane. My next 2 were kind of funny too. So obviously, you probably know this Pokemon as Urshifu or Urshifu Rapid Strike. Once again, you can determine which one's which. Next up, we got this mon, man. This mon is a Generation 4 staple. Poison Heal is one of the greatest and worst things to ever be made. You already know it's rocking a Toxicorp every time it pops out, but you also might not know that it's also good as a setup sweeper with SD against a lot of teams that aren't as fast or don't hit as hard after some mons are dead. It gets things like rocks, it got spikes, it has T-spikes. It's a really dope Pokemon and a really messed up Pokemon to have on my draft league team. in addition, I guess, like, we're probably going to end up using this more offensively, maybe. It just depends on the matchup, because with this mod, while it has a okay, like, typing, it's not like it's generationally great, it's just okay. But, you know, really good Pokemon, a very big annoyance, and still is OU to this day, so, you know, it's very funny. Everybody give it up for Gliscor, aka Gliscor, or Glizzy Score, depending on who you ask. Which is where we have the hot dog. You probably could have guessed that, I guess, you know. Anyways, we got a funny Pokemon that for a long time I never really drafted because I didn't really care to draft it. I just cared to beat it. But you know, we needed a water type, and we needed a good water type at that. And, you know, we had Urshifu, but I was like, you know what, we need a fairy. And I want to give complete context that I was going to go for a different fairy in terms of Primarina, and a different steel type, like Scizor. Didn't get either of them, got sniped by the same damn person. So I had to go with Project B, which I think is still fine. You know, this Pokemon gets thick, fat defensively, and Sap Sipper. Gets a huge power, obviously, is the big fucking ability it gets. You know, Aqua Jet, Ice Spinner, Knockoff, Liquidation, Waterfall, Superpower. You know, it has a lot of great coverage. We can also be a trapping set with Whirlpool Parasong. We can also just be an annoying set with things like Encore and such. Even a slower Encore versus like defensive cores would be really dope. We can become unkillable with things like Aqua Ring and Amnesia, but mostly we're probably going to be using this a lot more offensively speaking. While it definitely has some defensive backbone, I think that it is probably going to end up being a lot more offensive than we believe it to be. This is Azucena, aka Azumarill. Oh, I should also say these are not like the official names of any of my mons in terms of nicknames, but I just thought this would be funnier than like dragging on about a mon that's on screen. You get to see something different. Next, we got a real funny one here. So, like I said, I didn't get Scizor, so I went with the next best thing, but it also filled another niche of needing a spinner. This Mon is really good, very defensive physically. Gets Rapid Spin, it gets a good pivoting with Volt Switch, gets all the same kind of utility that you need in terms of getting hazards. It's one of the few Pokemon that I really wanted to not even, I wasn't even considering it that much, if I'm being honest. But with that being said, I took it because I definitely wanted a spinner that made sense, that also can handle itself. Like 90 attack, while it isn't like the greatest nowadays given power creep, it's still nothing to scoff at on a mon that you can definitely invest offensively with. But we're probably mostly using it as a spinner and definitely as a defensive wall, as it only has one true weakness. This is the Fortress of Meropide, aka Fortress. This one for sure is going to be named Meropide because I thought that was a great nickname when I first thought of it after one league, so that's like the only one really. This next one should be fairly obvious. So basically, I wanted this Mon a lot because it only does like two real things, and that's Parting Shot and Eat Hot Chip. So basically what we did, right, is that we decided we needed a ghost, and we made it a poison type, and it has doesn't have a lot of moves. Obviously it doesn't get T-Spikes, so it gets walled off by steals most of the time, and also pretty much is walled perfectly by Registeel, for being honest, outside of like Nightshade spam, I suppose. But you know, that's what happens when you're like this Mon. I love it. I think that most people who draft it love it too. This is a Pecha Berry. We're talking about Pecha Run. Really interesting stuff there. We got Eels and Escalators coming up next. Yeah, man, really very temperamental game that SpongeBob Pecha are playing. Anyways, this next Mon is the utility that you always want. It is the Swiss Army Knife. One of the most underrated Swiss Army knives, if you ask me. And you might say, but Avery, everybody knows it's a good Swiss Army knife. How is it underrated, you might ask? And I'll say this, right? You may not view it the same way I view it, but I know for sure that this thing is underrated because, You know, if you make a video, you're gonna only talk about this mon as like it's bulky and it can, you know, can do certain things. You don't really get into the intricacies and the real minutia that this Pokemon is very dumb to deal with. So me drafting it is even fucking worse. Levitate is a great ability for it. Gets all kinds of coverage, gets all kinds of sets that you can run. It is a very nasty Pokemon, and I'm very happy that I got it because I want an electric type, partially, and the other half was like, well, it's there, and I would like to end out this draft on a good note at least, so that's cool. So, obviously, if you couldn't tell, Eels and Escalators is Electros. Lastly, we wanted a 1-point mon or a 2-point mon or something of that sort. I don't really, it does what its older brother does, it's just smaller, so there's that. It's cool, you know, and I say brother because this mon can only be male, as its counterpart. The Hatterene line can only be female. You know, we might bring it a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. It gets parting shot as well, gets screens, and honestly, if I'm being truthful, you know, a T-Wave or 2 might pop out. I'm not like going to bring this like up as much, but like it's a cool Pokemon, I guess. It might not come to like a lot of games. It might see one game like I just said, but you know, it'll be very fun to see if I can make some shit shake with like Misty Terrain or like Torment to prevent myself from getting basically swept by a choice locked mon. Gotta think about that now, you know, everybody out there. Enabling other Pokemon by using fake tears and other support moves and such. So that's more Grim, because more Grim, you get it. If this seemed a little energy, I recorded this late at night. Don't worry, the battles will be exciting, they'll be funny, and I would say that this was pretty funny if you ask me, because I don't think anyone else is going to do anything like this, because I thought of this first. Anyways, our first week is against a coach named Jakib. I really hope I'm saying your name right, because if I'm not, I would be kind of upset with myself there. Not gonna lie. Jakib has a very fun team. I want to get his team name out there too real quick before I stop this. Jakib. Yep, the Baltimore Bergmites. As of this recording, we're gonna play on a Saturday. You know, you don't know when that is, of course. But you know, it'll go swimmingly. You know, it'll be great. You know, we'll have a nice little battle. We'll do our things and we'll see how it goes. I wanted to redo his team, but you know, Google Drive or Google Sheets working quickly would be dope, but it's not. See, they're bombs. Anyways, before I get killed by Papa YouTube or somebody, subscribe today if you're new. It would help out the channel a little bit there, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I'll just put the matchup on screen here in a minute. Don't worry, you're still looking at the more grim, dumb little post there. I'm trying to remember, because I'm in 2 leagues right now, I'm pretty sure. Jakib has this team on the right side, my team on the left side there. Let's hope we can get a W. This will be a very interesting match. I will not preview anything I'm going to be doing right now. You will see that when the battle comes out. The team builder will be attached to the battle as usual. I will give you a timestamp if you want to skip. Or maybe I'll just leave it in the description. Please let me know down below what you guys like to see. These videos don't usually perform very well, but I'll do my damnedest to make sure I edit them well and make sure that they at least have a chance among the sea of other videos that'll be coming out, of course. You guys have a great day, and you know, good night and good luck.